So this week, I'm going to be giving you tools that you can use to improve your songwriting from a melodic standpoint so that you can write with some big music energy. Welcome back to part 2 of our 2-part songwriting series. Here at Big Music Energy, we're trying to be the people that we needed when we were first starting out. Now, I can't tell you how to write a catchy melody. Melody writing is very personal and everyone has their own style and their own technique. But what I can give you are 4 tips to keep in mind while writing your songs. And if you use these tools effectively, they will make your music, no matter what genre you write in, more interesting and captivating for your listeners. Let's jump right into it. Tip number 1. Opposites attract. Now, I know I said that in last week's episode. I was talking about lyric writing. When I say opposites attract this week, I'm talking about your melody writing. When we write our melodies, we want to mix up our range, our pitches, and our cadence. Why? All of these 3 things affect the energy levels of our songs. Why do we care about writing energy into our songs? Because changing the energy of your song makes it interesting. It makes it compelling. If you want an episode on energy curves, leave a comment. If you're writing a verse that has short, repetitive melody structure, I woke up this morning and I got outside and then I went for a ride. If you're doing something like that, make sure that your chorus goes up in its pitch. Make sure that it has these big, sustained melodic pieces. That's gonna make your song soar coming out of that short cadenced verse. Conversely, you can mix it up so that your verse is the one with the big, long, sustained melodic pieces. It doesn't matter which one has sustained notes and which one has quick ones. The most important thing is that there's that contrast. Because remember, opposites attract. On to our second tip. Write pulse and rhythm into your song. Now, I see you looking at me. I can see you. I really can. You're looking at me going, Georgann, I don't play drums, so how am I supposed to write rhythm? So many things have rhythm. Rhythm is not just drums. Pulse is not just drums. It's not just percussion. Everything has it. So when I talk about pulse is something that's constant. I love this example. Consider a Roman temple, and the pulse is the columns. They're never changing. They always stay right where they are. So the rhythm, think about a little guy dressed in a toga, and he's running around the columns of this Roman temple. He's changing, but the only way that we really know that he's moving, because he's moving relative to these columns. Things move relative to other things. So when it comes to our songwriting, if I'm holding down a chord and it's just there, not changing, I want to make sure that the melody that I'm writing is constantly changing and moving around that sustained note. However, it doesn't always have to be this way. You can also have chords that are constantly changing. This is me playing the piano. What I can do is that I can write a melody that just hangs on one note. And if I do that, then it becomes interesting. Those kind of contrasts make your song interesting. So just think of pulse as the constant thing and make sure that you complement it with a rhythm, which is changing. My third tip. Repetition makes your songs infectious. When we hear things multiple times, we start to crave that. We start to look forward to it. It's like candy for our ears. We just need to hear it. One of the best examples of repetition in songwriting is, of course, the hook. We all want to sing the hook. We just wait for that one moment. Now, hooks are greatly results of our lyric writing. However, what really makes them catchy is that they're paired with a great melody. And when we hear that melody repeated, it just all comes together and you're like, yes, that's the hook. Now, our songwriting should have multiple instances of repetition built into it. It's one of the reasons why a lot of songs have 3 choruses. That's repetition. But one thing that I see songwriters do is that they come in and they have a song and I don't really know where we are in the song. There's no repeated melody. It's just kind of like drifting. When you write a melody, you want to write something that's repeating. That's what makes it catchy. When you write repetition into your songs, your listeners just wait for those moments. Listen to any song. I promise you, you're going to find repetition. It's just a part of songwriting. My 4th and final tip. Don't be adverse to the curse of the second verse. Now, I know that sounds all rhymey and you're like, what are you talking about? The curse of the second verse is the term we use to describe that moment when we get stuck as songwriters. First verse, catchy chorus, and now we're like, oh my God, my song needs to develop and I'm so uninspired. Well, one of the great ways that we can break that is to mix up that second verse's melody. There are no rules that say that you have to follow the same exact melodic structure as verse 1. Mix it up. It's fine. It's very inspiring. It's easy. It'll also give your song some variation. I don't need to hear the same verse again. I only want to hear the chorus twice or 3 times, sometimes 4. Don't go over 4 because then I'm checked out and I'm like, next song. And that's it. Part 2 of our 2-part songwriting series. Do you just feel like a new songwriting superstar? That's like what they do at like workout programs. At the end, they're like, you've made it. You've reached the mountaintop. It's funny is that I actually believe that stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. We put out new content every Friday, so make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love talking about songwriting, about music, so let's start a conversation. In the meantime, remember, opposites attract. Consider pulse and rhythm while writing your songs. Remember that repetition is infectious. And don't ever be adverse to the curse of the second verse. If you do these 4 things, your songs will be captivating, they will be compelling, your audience will be wanting more. So go out and write the next big hit.